live that is Tuesday, January 24th. And I want to update you guys on a couple things. We have a little bit of news this morning. We have a flash service PMI for France, for Germany, for the UK, and for the US, as well as New Zealand CPI numbers and Australian CPI numbers coming out later today. But French and German flash service PMI numbers already came out. The French flash service PMI came out a little lower than expected. The German flash service PMI numbers came out a little higher than expected, and UK a little lower than expected. US is coming out in just a few minutes, actually, here in about 10 minutes. And then New Zealand CPI numbers and Australian CPI numbers are the bigger news events of the day. Those will be coming later on today. Let's hop into the market heat map really quickly so that we can see how our assets are trending so far today here in our brand new looking Edge Finder. Hope you guys are loving this dark mode update as much as we are. So let's get through this pretty quickly so that we can hop into the markets with Nick. We're taking a look at US dollar pairs up here. USDCHF is our biggest mover to the upside so far today, up 0.41% on the day so far. GBPUSD, on the other hand, the biggest mover to the downside, down 0.69% on the day so far. All of our major indices all of our US indices are up on the day so far. NASDAQ 100 up 2.66%, S&P 500 up 1.19%, and the US 30 up 0.76%. The German 30 and UK 100 down on the day so far today. Let's take a look at oil. Oil is up 0.22%, and right behind it is gold, actually up 0.21% on the day so far. So good for both of those. Most of our euro pairs are up, euro GBP being the biggest mover to the upside. Most of our pound pairs are down, on the other hand, GBP JPY being the biggest mover to the downside. All of our yen pairs are down today. It seems like all of our yen pairs are either up on the day or they're all down on the day. Today, they're all down on the day, with GBP JPY making the biggest move to the downside, down 0.75%. Swiss franc pairs mostly moving to the upside today. Same with Australian dollar pairs and New Zealand dollar pairs, mostly moving to the downside. GBP NZD down 0.53%. So that's it for me. That was your quick update in how all of our assets are trending so far in the Edge Finder. Remember, if you want free Edge Finder trial access, you can find that in the links down in the description below. Wherever you are watching the stream, you can request to try the Edge Finder free for yourself for a couple of days. But with that, let's go ahead and jump into the markets with Nick.
Coming to you live from our studio in Atlanta, Georgia, this is the A1 Trading Daily Show. Whether markets are rising or falling, we're here to keep you up to date with the latest market news. Join us as we trade currencies, commodities, and indices live, Monday through Friday.
All right, guys, welcome back, and thank you for being here. We are taking a look at the markets together, and of course, a little bit of a pullback from yesterday's market action. A big thank you to James for going over our movers for the morning here within the Edge Finders watch list, or the market heat map. I wanted to follow up with that, just show you guys a little bit of where we're at in terms of volatility and kind of do a look around the room before we dive into specifics. So first of all, the dollar here making a bit of a rise, coming off of those lows. You can see, of course, we nailed that 101.6 level. And actually, sorry, 101.7, let's call it, finding a bit of support here, and buyers continuing to hold that for the time being. That seems to be the line in the sand for the dollar bulls at this time. Dollar bulls probably looking for a bit of a breakout the other direction, but for the most part, seems like a bit of reversals off of yesterday's moves. And again, we can take a look around at several assets. The S&P 500 coming off of its fresh highs around 4,040, as well as, of course, the Dow Jones. You have the Dow Jones coming off its highs pretty hard. You can see the 33,800 mark coming in, getting tagged, and then immediately dropping off from there. And of course, gold, which Frank, by the way, is currently long on gold. Gold coming off the highs as well. So we came up and we tagged 1940, let's call it. Price comes up to that point, and buyers getting punched in the face here a little bit this morning as price pulls back. Of course, let me know, guys, in the chat, what would you like me to look at? I'd be happy to try and take a look and see at which currency pairs or assets you'd like me to focus. By default, I'm going to take a look at some of the major ones, and then I'll branch out and see if I can find some more interesting ones for you as well. So here's Euro USD. So the Euro took out the highs here and has now since been holding or sitting on that broken level of resistance, right? So the highs were in, price breaks through that, pulls back to that area and kind of sits there now today, still sort of chopping around. So I would say, though, that this is still bullish for the euro. The euro still looking strong overall as we continue to hold structure here at that 1.087, let's call it. Price seems to be pretty strong and continuing to chug higher overall, though a bit choppy here recently. We would still call this a bullish market until, in my view, things start to break back the other direction. But for the time being, like I said, mostly just looking strong here as we continue to trend higher. So for euro dollar bulls, like I said, if you're long, this area looks pretty good. If we can hold it, then we may see price retest those highs and perhaps even put in a new high. But I would say stops probably would be underneath this trend line here. If price breaks through there, I'm going to go ahead and call that quits on any positions that I would have. So I'm not long on the euro, though. I'll show you guys some of my own personal trades as well as ideas that I'm looking at. So let's take a look quickly at the S&P 500, which is a trade that I have open. You can see all of my trades, by the way. Frank and I have both of our trades shared. Frank will probably be joining us here in a bit. Showing some of our current positions. The S&P 500 on the long side is one that I'm in, while Frank is long gold. So I'm long at the S&P 500. I'll also clarify that my stop loss is now trailed up into this area. So I entered into my S&P 500 trade down in this region with a stop loss just below market structure here. And I'll show you guys that. Let me pull up my bull and you can actually see my trade so that we can get some hard clarity on that. Give me 1 second. I'm pulling it up. Okay, so let's pull up SPY. I'm going to go to unlock trading here. And so there we go. So we've definitely given back a bit of our profits there on the S&P 500, but stops are trailed in profit, and I no longer can lose money on this trade. So price is coming back. We're seeing price a bit of a sell-off here on the S&P 500 this morning. But as long as we can hold structure here, I'll hold on to the trade. If we break through that support level, I'll be out of the trade, triggered for a stop loss, which is in profit, though. So it's a trailed stop in profit, just below that market structure there. So that's where I'm at with the SPY trade, floating about $1,700 right now. Yesterday I was floating about $2,500. So we've given up a big chunk of the profits. But hey, with trailing stops and trying to trend follow, that's going to happen to you, right? You're going to have points where you enter into a trade back here, markets are going to rally, and you're going to be up tremendously, and that's going to come all the way back. But the reason we trail stops is because occasionally you get something like this where it just runs and it just runs and it just runs, and we just continue to trail stops until it's a ginormous profit. Will that be this trade? We'll have to see. We're doing less forecasting and more reacting to markets when it comes to my style of trading. So if markets can hold this structure, right, we'll stay in the trade. But if it doesn't, we'll just take profits there. So that's a bit of the latest on my current trade, the S&P 500 position that I'm in. Of course, I am not long on gold, but Frank is. So when Frank joins us, he'll probably go over his gold trade, and we'll also keep going, see what else we can find. I want to show you guys the edge finder as well and see if there's anything. I'm going to go bias, and I'm going to filter out the neutrals here this morning. So let's go right here. So NZD-CAD has a strong buy. We have German 30 up there in the NASDAQ, USD ZAR, US 30, NZD-CHF. Let's go look at NZD-CHF and see if that's a position. So I do want to be long on this. You can see here's your 4-hour chart, but this one has run away from me a little bit. I would be interested in possibly picking it up on a pullback if we can get a dip back into that 38.2. This is a trade I would take all day long. Edge finder confirmation, technical analysis looks good, but we'll have to wait to see if we can get that pullback, because if it's not going to pull back for me, there's no trade there for me to take. The screen was not showing. Should be okay now. Let me know if you can't see my screen or if anything is going wrong, but I can see it on my end. So I can see the stream on my end looks fine. Oh, you can hear the background. Hold on. Let me, whoa. I can hear Emily. Hold on 1 second. Okay. There we go. It's fixed. I can't hear the background anymore. All right. So NZDCHF, yeah, I do like this one on the long side. If it can pull back. Next up, we'll take a look around the room. So oil was another one. I'll take a quick look at oil here, US oil. So US oil been pretty explosive to the upside there, and price retesting support here. Didn't quite get the break I was looking for in order to potentially get long here, though maybe if I had gone down on the lower time frames a bit, I could have found something, but not really my favorite trade there. S&P 500 already long on this one. So this one gave a buy signal on the edge finder right there. So we are still long on that one, holding on to the S&P. Euro CHF. Let's take a quick look at Euro CHF. Let's see what's going on with this one. So Euro Swiss. Wow, look at this, guys. Euro Swiss trading very, very strong. Did you close your S&P 500? That's what you said in the Discord group. No, I'm still in S&P 500. I'll show you guys that trade. So S&P 500 trailed stops. Stop is at 39.57.9. That's the latest in my trade group right here. I took a trade last week. You might be referring to one from an older time, but the S&P 500, like I said, my stop loss is trailed to 39.57, which is 39.57. So stop is still here. You might be referring to, who said that? Anand, you might be referring to Frank's trade. Frank's trailed out for profit. Frank's stop was a bit tighter. He already took profits, which in this case probably shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's what I would have done too. But of course, hindsight is 2020. Frank is already out of his S&P 500 trade. It closed for profit. I am still in mine. Just to clarify, for those of you who are in the signals group, I am still in my trade, and my stop loss again is just here. If price breaks through this structure, I'll be out of the trade, but I'm still holding on to it. There you go. So news, are we getting some news right now? Let me check really quick. Let's go to forexfactory.com. Forexfactory.com. Flash services PMI 945. Yeah, so let's go take a look. S&P 500 may see some reaction. Nothing crazy just yet. Let's go look at the dollar. Anything on the dollar here? Dollar shooting up here a little bit on the 5-minute, but nothing crazy here. Here's your 1-hour chart view. The dollar continuing to try to push higher. Got it. You trailed your stop. Yeah, Ananta, I just trailed my stop. So yes, happy to answer those questions anytime. If you guys have any questions about the signals group, it is always, you're always welcome to chime in on the VIP or on the live stream, and I'll try and address anything that's going on in the VIP. Okay, so yeah, the dollar still looking strong. Look at that, dollar pushing higher. This is your 1-hour chart, and might be interesting to see. Look at that, Euro USD falling through the lows. Pound USD, I mentioned on my Twitter this morning that if we could look at this, you guys, Pound USD showing some strength here to the downside. This may actually be something to pay attention to. Pound USD bears, watch for this pullback, perhaps at 50% or 38.2, somewhere in this region, could actually offer some short-term stuff, right? So if price retraces, if we get a pullback, could be some interest there for sell side continuation. Now, I'll show you guys something on the edge finder for those of you who trade with it. Pound USD is not quite on the list. Actually, yes, it is. It's right here. Pound USD is on the list as a sell. But I want to point you out something really quick. If you pay attention to the trend reading on Pound USD, it's been printing a +2. And the reason that matters is that if this trend starts to crack, you're going to probably see the trend here flip. And if it were to get a -2, you would get a -5 overall, which would give us a pretty strong bearish overall reading for the pound. So as we see a sell-off here today on the pound with this latest news, which we'll refresh the numbers and see what they're looking like. Pound numbers coming out better than expected for US PMI numbers here this morning. Flash services PMI coming out at 46.6 and manufacturing PMI at 46.8. Exceeding expectations there and causing a bit of a stir on the US dollar here. Look at this. So the pound dropped initially on that news and now potentially pulling back. Again, watch for that retest. I do like that opportunity potentially to get short on the pound USD. Looking for continuation and looking pretty solid here this morning. I do like that setup. Pound USD is on the watch list for sure today, especially with this sort of crack of this upward trend. This is a bit of an aggressive entry, right? You're looking for this. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. You can kind of see it a little bit better. So here's your 4-hour chart. So price is has been in an uptrend, and this is a potential breakout to the downside. And if this sort of pulls back, you may start to see a bit of an unwind on this upward trend we've been seeing. So I do like pound USD, and I tweeted this one out this morning. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, feel free to do so. It's a cool spot. We enjoy calling out ideas and stuff like that. If you don't have me on Twitter, it's Trader Nick FX. If one of you guys on the back end don't mind dropping the link to my Twitter, that'd be awesome. Trader Nick FX on Twitter. You guys can follow me there. I chime out, throw out a bunch of ideas throughout the day. So if that would be helpful to you, you're welcome to join there. Or you can join our free Discord. That's the other place. I share them in both places. If you'd like access to our free Discord, we'll also drop a link in the chat here for you. So real quick, in the chat, we're going to be dropping a link to join our Discord channel, which I showed you. This is where I'm sharing what I'm trading. Frank is also in here sharing his trades. We also do some coaching webinars. We do all sorts of stuff in the VIP group. And then, of course, we also have a free section where you get daily analysis, some PDFs that can help you in your trading. So if you don't have any of these things and you would like access to them, we're dropping the link in the chat. There it is in the chat right now. Join our free Discord. Click that link, fill out the form, and you will be all set. It looks like we're going to get an update from Frank here. Let me go ahead and see. Oh, that's Chandler. Let's see. Is Chandler coming in? Let's see. Chandler's coming in. All right. 1 second, he says. Oh, I can hear him.
Hello.
Hey, Chandler.
I have an update from 8cap. Ooh.
Oh, kept showing up. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. All right, so y'all are looking at like some crazy looking pound dollar. Oh, what's 8cap got to say about this? Their magic 8 ball here. Their 8cap ball. It says check a risk calculator.
Check a risk calculator. Okay. So your daily tip from 8cap. They sent us these balls in the mail there. They're like, you guys have those little fortune telling 8 balls. Look at that. They got an 8cap 8 ball that they sent to us, which is, come on, that's marketing genius. They have that awesome 8 ball. And of course they sponsor our streams. So thank you, Chandler, for today's tip of the day from 8cap. If you guys don't already trade with 8cap, they sponsor our content here, and there is a link down below in the description. If you're checking them out, if you're looking for a new broker, they are awesome. They offer so many different assets, and again, they sponsor our content. So thank you, Chandler, for the daily tip, and we'll catch you next time. So let's see, what else do we have on the pound USD? Like I said, we broke support here, right? Big break to the downside, and now a possible pullback. So if that pullback comes into play, we'll have to come back, and if I take that trade, you guys will see it inside of Discord. So that is the latest there, and let me see what we can take a look at next. Euro USD also reacting a bit to the news, but seeing a bit of a spike back up. So nothing too crazy there on the euro. What else do you guys want to look at? James in the chat says pound yen. Let's take a look at pound yen here this morning. So pound yen actually tagged a major level of resistance off of the daily chart. And you can see right here, let's see, hitting resistance, 162 got hit, and now a rejection off of that level. Now, if we narrow this down even further, you can kind of see on the 1 hour chart that GJ has sort of lost its spice, if you will. Taking out the lows here and actually breaking through multiple levels of support. Those same levels of support may actually offer some resistance. And here's a close-up view of the 1 hour chart as the pound yen shoots back the other direction. Is there a sell side opportunity here at the 50%? Well, I don't hate it. And I think there could be something there. Pound yen also lining up as a possible sell here on the Edge Finder watch list. I'll pull this one up so we can take a closer look and do some analysis here together on the Edge Finder. So let's see. GJ gets a -4, scoring low in categories like seasonality. Seasonality, by the way, just the study of historically what an asset tends to do. So during the month of January and February, we tend to see GJ declining, right? This is just taking historical prices and studying what tends to happen to an asset during the months of January or February. And what you can see is that January and February tend to be negative months for the pound against the Japanese yen. This is data that is brought to us by the Edge Finder, which is, of course, our market scanning software tool. If you guys don't have access to the Edge Finder, we do offer free trials. If it's something that you think would be helpful to you in your trading, it's certainly something that we commonly use on the stream. And think that you might also like it as well. If you'd like a free trial, We'll drop a link in the chat so that you can check that out for yourself. Click the free trial link, fill out that form, and one of my team members will reach out to you with some training, with some access so that you can try the tool out for yourself and see if it's a fit. We're live on TikTok today, so hello to our couple people on TikTok. We don't usually stream on TikTok, but hey, we're trying new stuff all the time. So hello to our TikTok viewers on the A1 Trading TikTok. So GJ, anyways, looks pretty good here. If it can pull back up to that 50%, seasonality scoring -1, trend reading to the downside, GDP growth, inflation, and unemployment numbers, economic data pointing towards being more long biased on the Japanese yen. So I do like that one long, or I'm sorry, short, comparing the pound against the Japanese yen. Let me know, guys. Does it look like part of my screen is cut off? Am I missing something? Hold on the right hand side. Is my mouse going invisible? Yes, it is. That's weird. I'm not sure why. Seems like we're just. Oh, it looks fine over here. Okay, that's weird. Oh, I know why, Chandler. That's my fault. I think I did windowed mode when I set up my stream or in my camera on that back end. So next time I'm just going to do entire screen. So that's, you live and you learn. GJ coming up to that level of resistance, the 50% retracement looks very close. Let's keep looking around and see if there's anything else. So we've talked about pound USD. We've talked about pound yen. I'm currently long the S&P 500 and looking for potentially some other setups. NZDCHF, I want to double back on that one just to see if I can get that. I've been looking for a long trade on this one off the 4-hour. Haven't quite been able to catch it just yet. But yeah, trading view looks fine. Chandler, on the back end, I think it's just the edge finder has a wider screen, so it cuts it off. That's a bit weird, but that's nothing to worry about. Well, actually, wait, is it fixed? No. Don't worry about it. We can sort that out. That's my fault. On the windowed mode that I did today, I figured I would just grab the window and see what happens, and it, sure enough, not quite as perfect, but that's okay. All right, let's keep going, and we'll keep going through the watch list. So I do like pound USD on the sell side. If it can retest here today, pound yen might be interesting. Forex investor wants to look at gold, and we will take a look at gold. Frank is going to be joining us in just a few minutes here. Let me see what time. We've got 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and Frank will be joining us for the gold analysis that he's going to do, I'm sure, as he is currently still long on gold. Euro CHF analysis. Yeah, so happy to do that. Kara in the chat. Thank you, Kara, for chiming in. Euro CHF on the long side would be where I'm at, but not at these current levels. So I do like Euro CHF predominantly on a pullback, and we can actually look intraday and see if there's anything here. So this high got taken out, and I love that we're moving here. I tend to like to trade the pairs that are moving strong, right? And so what we can see is that price has shot to the upside, right? Real strong there. And now a pullback, if it happens, lining that up with the edge finder, you've got Euro CHF getting a buy signal overall, scoring high in the commitment of traders data. We have retail sentiment. Seasonality goes against us, but trend is to the upside. GDP growth and interest rates favor upside. So I like Euro CHF on the long side, but only if we can get a pullback into this area. So 50% retracement will be where we're watching. If I take that trade, you guys will see it inside of Discord. Pretty soon, it seems like we're going to be having Frank join us, but no rush on that. Whenever you guys are ready, back end. Euro CHF, like I said, very, very strong. I like it long, but I would not short it here, right? I'm not looking to short. I'm looking to only be long on a pullback predominantly to that 50% level. This is a 1-hour chart trading idea, but we are, again, a bit of a ways away from any potential entry. AUD/JPY, quick look at this one for my friend Hassan in the chat. Hey, Hassan, thank you for the chart request. Hassan, we are looking at AUD/JPY, and price is trying here. Let's look at the daily chart. Price is trying to get above this level of resistance here. We'll have to watch to see if that can happen. Ideally, we'd see some sort of break above, right? Like we need a decisive couple days above this before any potential reversal on this downward trend. But until further notice, the Aussie yen is kind of just sitting in a resistance zone, the upper limits of one, but still a resistance point nonetheless. So I don't really have any strong opinions there, especially since we don't have any confirmation on the edge finder. That's just going to be one that I'm not interested in trading. Okay, in just a second, we're going to be bringing Frank in whenever you guys are ready. Let me just unmute the back end so I can hear Frank and unmute. And Frank, we can pull him in. How are you?
Hello.
Hey, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
You sound
Finally.
great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know that all the microphone stuff on the back end has been tricky. Frank, everybody in the chat is wondering what your thoughts are on gold. What are you thinking today?
I'm still long, but I don't really know where the sell-off is coming from because it's looking like the market's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure, but I think Microsoft had did they have earnings today? I
You
think they
could be
were
right about that.
they were
Let
a
me see.
big decider in like the market rally, and I
Gotcha.
think they might have missed. And so the S&P went crazy and gold was doing the opposite, and now they're both falling. So I don't know what's really going on, but it's as
I
soon as the
noticed
bell
that.
hit, it's been
We've got
volatile.
are you sharing your screen, Frank? I think if you share your screen in the back end on the collab cam, we can get that pulled up so we can take a look at gold from your point of view. Yeah, gold has been interesting because it's been sort of following, I've noticed the S&P 500 a lot in the last few months. And it's not always the case that is happening, but it seems to be a lot of based on the US dollar, right? When the dollar's rising, gold and the S&P tend to be declining. But
Right.
you've got your gold chart pulled up. What's the latest on this one? Give us the gold chart analysis.
I mean, and with every like big sell-off, it seems to be recovering. And like I said, like last week when I came on, I had talked about it potentially testing that $2,000 mark. So that's still like I think that's still very possible. Um, but in the meantime, it's just going to be like this. You're going to see choppy markets, but kind of a steady incline in the
Yeah.
meantime.
So if you zoom into like the 1 hour chart here today, you can kind of see the spike that's been really uh, going on in today's price action. It's been a quick drop off of the open here in the New York session. Do you think we hold these levels? And if we break them, do you think it turns into a short-term bear trend? Like how far do you think we could drop?
Um, I think we're gonna have to watch these levels because this is a previous low that I like. Um, I think it's been respecting that 200 uh, period moving average on the 4-hour chart, but I think these two levels right here, 1911, 1897, are kind of key in direction because if these break, um, that's starting to look like the uh, gold is topped out or something. So I'm not
Yeah,
really sure. Kind of
I would
kind
tend
of
to
waiting to
agree.
see what happens.
Yeah, and Frank and I, for those of you guys in the audience, Frank and I tend to trade in a similar fashion. We both work on the Edge Finder. That's kind of what we work on together at the office. And of course, in a similar way, we like to trail stops. Let winners run, that sort of thing. Frank, where are you at with a trailing stop at this point on gold?
I'm still I still have the stop loss set. I don't remember exactly where it
Okay, so you
was,
haven't
but
trailed
in
it
the
yet.
signals. Yeah, but I think I'm actually close to break even now after this sell-off.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but I think I'm just gonna hold on to it because it's not really telling anything yet. So
Yeah, I would tend to agree. It doesn't necessarily, even though the sell-off is kind of nasty this morning, I don't think it necessarily has broken into a bearish trend by any means just yet. So yeah,
right,
I
and
tend to agree.
it's also just largely owned by like institutions still, and they're still buying it. So there's a lot of interest. 73% long, um, more than the dollar.
Yeah,
So it's just, I don't know. It still looks strong to me.
do you want to pull up the smart money tracker and see what gold is looking like there? You've mentioned that. I think
Yeah,
if you've got the edge finder pulled up, that'd be awesome.
I do. So do I stop sharing and then start again?
You can join
Let me
back.
just do that.
Let me give me 1 second.
Okay,
I'll just
I think I got it.
okay.
So gold on the very far right, or second to the most right, is showing you how much its COT's owned in it. It says 72.5%, which is huge.
Yep.
And I think retail's majority short too. Um, That's another thing to look at is retail sentiment, because I think we should be looking at the Kiwi still as well. They're like 90% short,
Really?
whereas institutions are still going long on this pair or this currency, I mean.
So gold is currently heavily longed, and then you also have a couple other big names in the euro still maintaining a lot of long bias from institutional traders, and then you also have you mentioned the Kiwi uh, on the retail side. You want to show the retail sentiment and see what that looks like as well?
Yeah. Um, Let me go to. You want to see Kiwi CAD
Well, if you
retail?
go, yeah, sure, we could do NZD CAD, yeah.
Okay, it's loading up. I'm gonna click on a couple though, so we have them ready.
Yeah, I feel like with gold topping the list there, it makes sense, right? Institutional money is very long on gold right now, and we just continue to see that thing trending higher and higher. Once that cracks, it might, pivot and have a downward trend, but trying to call that top for gold has been a really tricky thing to do. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I would generally
Here's
say I'm staying long bias until it really shows signs of reversal and starts cracking the other way.
here's the NZD CAD pulled up, if y'all can see that. 92% short
Yep.
on the retail side, which is just wild because they're really hoping for some downside. But COT just keeps buying, so
Yeah, and Frank, what do you I mean, I don't know if you've noticed this pattern too, but I've talked about this on stream before. It seems like when retail traders are piled into a trade, usually it's like the trend is just going against them continuously. Like uh
yeah,
retail traders are super short while the market just trends higher and higher and higher, and then vice versa. When it's like trending down, they're just super long. They're like buying into a declining market. So I don't
well,
know, a
I
tricky
think
one there.
I think retail is right, but they're way too early. Like
Yes.
they don't wait for any sort of confirmation. They just see maybe there's an inverted hammer candle or head and shoulders pattern. They're like, okay, it's overbought on this RSI indicator, so I'm just going to short it. And it might
Right.
work in the short term, but then they realize
Yeah, and
somewhere down the line it doesn't, like, it's not holding because there's no big like shift coming on the fundamental side.
right, right. Yeah, that's for sure. You've got gold pulled up now. You want to talk about gold on the Edge Finder?
Yeah, I was looking for the okay, here it is. The retail. Um, I think it's about the same as last week. Um, Only 23% long, but still COT still buying it. And it's kind of the same story as Kiwi. Um, just I don't know, trying to get in too early and realizing that maybe they should, hold on for a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that that's just unfortunately the consistent theme is like retail trader. You're right. Like oftentimes they will spot an extended move, but that move can become like way more extended, and they're just sitting there holding on to it way too early. So, uh,
Right.
always important to know. I think to some degree that's an argument for like waiting for some sort of reversal, waiting for some sign that the market is like really turning before you try and assume like, hey, this is the top or hey, this is the bottom. Because a lot of people get in a lot of trouble doing that.
Right. And I think maybe it's because I don't have Forex Factory pulled up, but they're expecting only like a 25 basis point hike from the Fed, even though Powell said like he wouldn't let up. So maybe the sentiment is the dollar is going to start to get weaker because inflation kind of came down. So they're like rooting for gold now.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, and that's
So
probably a good fundamental take on it for sure. Gold seems to be, people are losing a little bit of faith in that consistent hawkish approach from the Fed, and that's given way to a lot of other things to sort of rise. I know you and I had talked about we're long biased on gold and the S&P, and I don't plan on changing that until something changes with the Fed and something sort of cracks on that front. So Frank, thank you for joining us on the show here today. As always, your input is super valuable. So thanks for coming on.
yeah, no, thank you. That was fun.
All right, see you next time. Okay, so we are basically going to continue on here for just a little bit longer. If you guys have any charts that you want me to pull up, I'll do my best to take a look at them before we end here. Look at that gold just really selling off here, hitting 1918 as we go along. The S&P 500 also taking a beating, but still in my trade here. I'll show you guys, we're still in that long from the signals group. Floating 1650 now. So what was a $2,500 trade is now a 1650 trade. And this is the sort of stuff that, you know, when I was a newer trader, this would be, you know, chaotic, would be trying to, you know, justify, oh, I should have taken profits here. And those mind games can be continuous. So not quite the same mindset that I had then, but still some of the emotions are the same. You know, whether, you know, people think it just gets really easy when you've been doing this forever. It doesn't get easy. You just get better at dealing with it. You get better at managing your risk and keeping size small, that sort of stuff. It's an important lesson to learn over and over that, you know, patience is what pays. It's not being the grand technical master and calling charts perfectly that necessarily pays you. It's oftentimes just being patient, learning how to be. US 30, a couple of you guys asking for US 30. Let's take a look at it. US 30 in the chat here. Thank you to Nicola, Ali, and Yuki. You guys wanting US 30. Happy to do that for you. Let me pull it up on the watch list here. I do believe that this one is getting a buy signal on the edge finder. Yep. So US 30 scoring high in fundamentals, economic numbers, GDP growth still strong, inflation on the decline, and unemployment numbers looking still relatively healthy. Yes, there's been layoffs, but it seems that unemployment numbers have not quite caught up to it. Seems like the US 30 still looks to me like it has potential upside. And here's your daily chart. The US 30 has taken more of a beating than the NASDAQ and the S&P recently. It's been underperforming them, but we've been holding levels of support here. We've been looking overall on the daily chart. We still look good to me. So I'm not necessarily in love with the daily chart buying here, but we might be able to find something lower time frame that lines up. And here is your US 30 1-hour chart. And I've drawn a fib here from swing high to swing low, this recent impulsive move. So as price pulls back here today, I would say if you can get a 50% retest here, this looks like it might be a point where bulls should get involved, right? Buyers should get stronger here. And yeah, we'll watch out for that. I do like it. Like I said, if we can get down into the 50% level, that will be a point of interest for me. We just narrowly missed it on the previous go around. But again, I'm already in the S&P 500, so I may not take a big size, but I'm still looking at potentially getting involved on the US 30 and perhaps adding to my NASDAQ 100 trade. Though the NASDAQ has really taken off. It's the leader of the three, I believe, right now. Yeah, the NASDAQ is in the lead here in terms of US indices doing the best. A possible pullback here to support would be of interest, but that's a bit of a ways away. So not going to jump to any trades right away on that one. So there you go, guys. That's going to wrap up the stream for today. If you did enjoy the stream, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new. And remember, guys, you can get access to our free Discord or our free Edge Finder trial in the chat and in the description below. If you guys don't mind on the producer side, just drop the link for one or both of those. We can get that set up for you guys. If you'd like to try out the tool, we encourage you to do so. We have plenty of people on my staff who are handing out trials and doing some free training calls for people who want to learn more about how we trade here at A1 Trading, as well as using our software to do so. So fill out those forms. And we'll see some of you guys in the Discord. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you back tomorrow.
Thanks again for watching today's show. Our goal at A1 Trading is to continue to share free value to our audience through daily videos and articles, keeping you up to date with the latest market coverage. If you enjoy our content, make sure to subscribe for more. And remember to check the description below if you're looking for a new broker or looking for a trading community to join. From all of us at A1 Trading, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.